Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another little segment of Finding the Beauty. And today I wanted to show you the landscape of my yard. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. It's 16 degrees, so it's a little cold. The ground is frozen. I'm out here with my grand dog, Reese, who I walk and play ball with in the morning. And even though it's freezing out, that's no excuse. I have to come out here and make sure that he has his exercise. But I thought it was a great time to talk about keeping your vision. Even when the snow is on the ground, obviously. The pond is, for the first time, has a little bit of, it's a little frozen. Can't ice skate on it yet, but we've done a lot of great ice skating on that little pond down there. But I just wanted to show you some of the things that I look forward to. I know a lot of folks that have coached me and helped me along my journey have always talked about the seasons, and they talk about winter. So here's a good indication that winter has struck, and all the beautiful things that I look forward to in the spring and summer are looking a little grim, dim, whatever you want to call it. This is my grandmother's camellia, and I started this plant from a root from hers, literally probably like 2 inches, and this is like since 2002 how big it's grown. So I nursed this tree for all this time with the vision that someday I would get one bloom off of it. I think it took 5 years just to get one, and now we have several little buds that I'm looking forward to. Reese's gonna check them out too. You like them, Reese? Yes, they're very pretty. This tree, I have to really back up, but this tree is a holly tree, and it was growing out of my mother's sidewalk. And now it's so big, I would say it's 20 feet maybe high. So again, I think in any kind of plant, if you love the outdoors, if you are a gardener, you keep the vision alive. You have to understand that there's going to be times where you're planting something and you have to protect it for many years before it's strong enough to really be on its own. Here's another tree, magnolia. It's a deciduous magnolia, so it loses its leaves. So the whole winter, you do not see a single leaf. It looks dead, seriously. But when this blooms, this branch is full of little mini magnolias that have the most sweetest smell. And it lasts, as soon as it blooms, it lasts the whole summer. And I just come over here, and when I want to get inspired, I pull down the branch and I smell these beautiful little flowers. Here's another tree, and we have several Christmas trees on the property that we actually bought in a ball at Cherry Hill Tree Farm, which was our tradition to go there. And it would be colder than today, and we would get a tree that was alive in a ball and bring it back and decorate it for Christmas, and then we would plant it in our yard. Now this isn't one. This one was actually one of those little branches that you get from a promotional type thing, or they give them out on special environmental days, and you get the little branch that's in a baggie. That's what this was. So you can see how much that's grown. And it's just a living example of finding the beauty in small things and keeping the vision alive enough to see it through. And we have to be reminded of that all the time. I know that I do. And my last part I really want to talk to you about today is over in the corner of my house. But I'm going to turn off the camera for 1 minute while I walk over there. Okay, well, we're getting a little bit more light, but this is what I wanted to show you. We just had a major storm come through to the East Coast, Hurricane Sandy, and I am not going to make light of what happened because some states really had devastation. This is not devastation, but, and I pray for all of those victims. My little catastrophe is very minor, but more sentimental than anything, is that this whole arbor here had been blown over because we got like 50-mile-an-hour winds. And it's just the rose bush, but the rose bush was given to me by my son for my birthday, probably, I'm going to guess around 22 years ago. And I didn't know that it was a climbing rose bush. I just knew that it was a rose bush, and I just love roses. And I planted it right here by the corner of my house. And I didn't have any kind of trellis or anything like that to support it. However, this little tiny rose bush ended up being a climber. I missed that. I didn't realize that it was a climber. And when it started growing, let me tell you, it was crazy growing. And it was beautiful, and I knew I needed to buy a trellis. And my neighbor happened to be a carpenter, and they made this for me. I'm literally, they owned a business, Mennonite family, and they brought this up on a truck and put it up, but it never really was properly put in the ground, so it could easily blow over. And that's what it did. And it took this beautiful rose bush, which you cannot see because, like I said, we're in January right now, and this rose bush has a little tiny bit of its leaves left on it, but it's pretty much in a dormant stage. And that's good when you want to prune, but sometimes it's really vulnerable when winds kick up. But just look at the size of this thing. This whole bush was pushed over, and when I saw it, I literally just cried. I'm so attached to it. I know it's an object. It's not a life in a way that matters like in a human life, but to me it was like I had to help this get back to a right position. And I asked my husband to help me, and literally there was nothing on this trellis at all. This happened probably a few weeks ago, that we actually came out here and put up the ladder. This whole bush was on the ground, and I literally had to pick it up. And you know, and I know, that roses have thorns. If you can take a look at these, are the little ones. The bigger ones are on the bigger branches. And all those rose thorns were on my back, on my clothing. My husband was ouch, ouch, ouch. And the two of us, it took us probably 3 to 4 hours to rig up all of the rope and the tie downs and the wire ties and everything to try to save this bush. So my husband, who has trouble sometimes visualizing, is always the one that I have to help along, because he has to live off of the fact that my vision is I didn't want to see this rose bush die, not after all this time, and I knew that we could save it. So I'm gonna stop the camera right now because my hands are freezing and I gotta put gloves on, and I want to finish this up. Anyway, hi everyone. I hope that you can see me okay. Again, I had to rig up the camera so that you could actually be able to see me here. And I wanted to talk about this bush. I'm going to put pictures on my blog so you can see it, because every year when this blooms, literally it's not the first thing that I see when I come up my driveway, because my driveway is kind of long, but it's like the last thing I see when I turn the key off my car and I look over here. Even when it's not in bloom, it's so beautiful because it's fully green and it just covers this entryway. And it's such an inspiration to me, not for just its beauty, but its true meaning of how it was given to me. And I have a lot of things in my yard like that have been given to me or I bought at $1. I forgot to mention that the magnolia tree I bought that at $1 sale, which is usually at the end of the season for plants that don't look good on the shelf anymore, and they put them out in the yard and you buy it for $1 and you take your chances. And as you can see, that $1 has definitely been one of the better investments. It's just beautiful, and a lot of things are like that. So that's my inspiration for everyone, is to just keep the vision in your head. I actually had a client who has come to me to make a vision board, and she believes that if she has that vision in her mind daily on her wall, that's going to help inspire her. And now that I've thought about this, because at first I was thinking, it was a little bit overboard to be able to, actually put your vision in a painting. But now I understand completely, because that's what I have in my head. I'm gifted that way, to be able to see a vision. And people come to me for that reason. But not everybody, I'm not saying they don't have a vision. It's just harder to keep it in the forefront of your mind. So even in the dimmest, the coldest 16-degree weather, you have to keep springtime and summer in your mind, that whatever it is that you're working towards, if you're working towards a beautiful garden, in the beginning it's just seeds and there's a lot of preparation. It's always in a preparation, whether you're cooking or if you're growing something. The preparation is always the biggest investment. So I'm going to say, don't give up about any projects that you might have on your mind. Whatever it is that you're trying to find that beauty in, don't give up. It's right around the corner. I'm hoping that with the same technique that we use today, that we can go back and look at some of these beautiful bushes and trees and plants together, and you can see why it's important to protect anything that you see value in. Just don't let it go away. Take the time to care. If it means 2 or 3 hours out of your time to protect that dream, that vision, do it, because the payoff is always there for a lifetime, really. I mean, some of these plants are going to live way past me, to the next generation. And hopefully they're chopping roots off of something and wanting to plant it in their yard. I know that I have lots from my mom actually growing right in this yard, and I enjoy it every day. So remember to find the beauty. It's all around you. Thank you and have a great day.